At midnight, I heard the couple upstairs fighting. I angrily sent a message. Can you keep it down? He's already dead. Please do me a favor and collect the body later. After the message was sent, the noise upstairs indeed stopped. But occasionally, there were sounds of hard objects scraping the floor. I lived directly below their apartment, so the noise was exceptionally piercing. Were they cleaning up the battlefield? I was stunned. Did you really kill him? Yes, and am about to kill myself too. In half an hour. I didn't reply. Help me collect the corpse. She intentionally tagged me again. My mind completely blew up. As upstairs and downstairs neighbors, we'd usually exchange greetings, but we weren't really close. With her suddenly sending something like this in the group chat, I felt extremely anxious. Miss, please don't joke around. If something's wrong, call the police. Miss, are you still there? In the middle of the night, the residents' group chat was dead quiet. I was worried that because she only spoke to me, I'd be held responsible if something actually happened. I sent several messages in a row in the group chat. But the more I sent, the more terrified I felt. Several minutes passed before someone else finally spoke up in the group. If they're actually dead, then that's incredibly satisfying. They deserve it. Are you crazy? 1402 seemed to have been watching every move in the chat and suddenly interjected, cursing others to die. You're the one who deserves to die the most. Hearing 1402's words, the guy on the 13th floor instantly went off like a lit firecracker. What does it have to do with you? Just as the two started arguing, resident 1404 unexpectedly appeared. All right, stop arguing. We're all neighbors here. Let's not ruin the harmony. A distant relative is not as good as a near neighbor. Resident 1404, stepping in as the peacemaker, finally interrupted their argument. However, during these 5 minutes of bickering, the woman never showed up. It was as if she didn't exist at all. Normally, whenever 1302 spoke in the group, the couple would always gang up to attack him. Today, they didn't say a single word. It was definitely a bit unusual. Resident 1404's words once again made us feel that something was wrong. 1302 had a deep conflict with them. Usually, as soon as he appeared, the guy upstairs would start cursing, and the woman would join in too. It was a perfect mixed doubles attack. But now, neither of them came out to flame. This showed that the situation was indeed highly abnormal. Wait, it sounded like there was movement upstairs again, accompanied by a long, piercing screech. Holy shit. And my place was directly below theirs, the young couple in 1401. In my impression, was highly energetic, lazy, and loved to play around. Suddenly, drops of bright red liquid seeped from the ceiling, condensing into a deep crimson, hanging there as if about to drip, accompanied by the sound of a bone saw. I immediately thought of a terrifying possibility. The person upstairs might be dismembering a corpse. The residents' group chat was silent for nearly 3 minutes before someone spoke up. They wouldn't do it for real, would they? Young people nowadays are so hot-tempered. If someone just snaps, then. 1404 is a middle-aged man. He usually kept to himself and was a bit cowardly by nature, but what he said made sense. Over a trivial matter, a life could actually be lost. It wasn't entirely impossible. I was almost scared out of my wits. Can someone go over and take a look? 1402 and 1404 both lived on the same floor as the couple. No matter what, it wasn't my place to go up there. Do you think anyone would dare check on something like this? Hearing me say the woman might be dismembering a body, 1404 flat out refused to go over, which was completely normal. Who would dare to go? What if they get annoyed and take care of me too? Don't panic, I'll ask my friend to take a look. I have another friend in this apartment complex. He lives in apartment 1601 in the opposite building. From that angle, he can see directly into the apartment above me. I called 1601. He got excited after hearing about it. Are you serious? That's insane. Hold on, I'll zoom in with my phone right now. Fork 601 uses a Huawei phone. It's a bit of a stretch to look at the moon, but it's crystal clear when looking at the opposite building. 10 minutes later, 6001 sent a message. What is that hanging behind the balcony? It looks like a person, even though it's not very clear. There is obviously someone hanging behind the sheer curtains. She has a very slender figure, hanging from a rope about half a person's height off the ground. A cold sweat washed over me. Is it a woman? Right? Short or long hair? Short hair, doesn't look very tall. My brain instantly short-circuited. This physical description perfectly matches the woman from the couple upstairs. So this woman has already hanged herself. But if the woman killed herself by hanging, who is dismembering the body inside? Things were getting more and more absurd. The woman killed herself. The man got stabbed to death. Yet there's still the sound of sawing bones inside. 1404 was equally baffled. Are you guys dead or alive? Say something. I was also secretly praying in my heart. Bro, sis, Please, just say something. I'll accept it even if it's just a prank today. I'm just terrified it's real. A few minutes passed. Neither of the couple upstairs replied. But the sound of sawing bones continued, and the rhythm was getting faster. It sounded like they were sawing with even more force. Listening to that sound, I was on the verge of a breakdown. You guys hear that, right? There is definitely someone in there. 1404 suddenly spoke up. I just peeked through the peephole. It's probably real. Their blood has seeped out from under the door. It's almost reaching my doorstep. 1404 lived right across from the couple's apartment. From his angle, he could see it perfectly. Almost reaching my doorstep. Thinking about that scene, I was completely paralyzed with fear. I'm absolutely sure that's blood. Then call the police. I urgently told 1404 to call the cops. But 1404 said, hey, 02, the blood is flowing toward your place too. How about you call the cops? 1402 remained silent. At a time like this, he was still dodging responsibility. I knew very well that the guy in 1404 just found it too troublesome. He didn't want to call the police. Coupled with his cowardly personality, he immediately started making excuses. 1302 was also silent. Come on, man, right now, you're the only one who can see that pool of blood. If you don't call the cops, who will? Oh, fine, I'll make the call. 1404 agreed very reluctantly. Seeing that he was willing to call the police, I breathed a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, the residents' group chat flared up again. The guy inside got killed. The girl got killed too. But there's still noise coming from the room. Who on earth could it be? Could it be a ghost? None of you will call the cops, but you make me report it. 1404 was extremely resentful, but no one paid attention to his complaints. Could there really be something paranormal? 302 typed a few question marks. They came back from a trip to Thailand today, and they were holding a really big wooden doll. I thought it looked incredibly sinister when I saw it. When I saw that doll, I felt like something was seriously off about it. It was completely black, looking just like a 3-year-old child, revealing a chilling smile. But how did the woman kill him tonight? That doesn't make any sense. After they finished talking, I felt even more terrified. It felt as if from the ceiling of my apartment, there were already puffs of black smoke seeping down and swirling around the room. Even turning on all the lights couldn't dispel it. I was losing my mind. Girl, please stop scaring me. I'm about to pee my pants. I admitted pathetically. Right at that moment, the sound of rolling wheels suddenly came from the ceiling. That sound, it sounded exactly like a wheelchair speeding by. My face instantly turned pale. Bro, did someone just push something across the living room in 1401? No, everything's normal. I'm keeping an eye on it for you. 4601 told me confidently. I gasped. 302, did you hear that? I heard it, and there's absolutely no one walking around in that room. But I also heard strange noises from the living room upstairs. Oh my god, that scared me to death. Terror instantly loomed over us. The group chat also went dead silent. Right on the other side of our walls, there was actually a bloody dismemberment happening. And some bizarre evil force. Who could stay calm through that? I stared desperately at the ceiling, afraid that something might suddenly drop down and kill me. I'm so scared. Can you come up and keep me company? The girl from 1402 begged me for help. I thought to myself, the girl from 1402 is actually pretty cute. I ran into her in the elevator a few times, and she was always very friendly to me. She just moved in about a month ago. She'd probably be scared to death being home alone. I'll come over. I'm quite scared too, because 1402 is right next to 1401. But I feel like if I go over there, maybe the two of us in one room could feel safer. To be honest, I can barely take it anymore. Come over right now. Just knock and I'll let you in. Okay. Let me calm down for a sec. Then I'll head up. There is no way I'm sleeping tonight anyway. I might as well go up and wait for the police with her. Looking at my ceiling right now, I guess my place isn't safe either. Just as I was about to leave, I noticed 1302 was frantically messaging me. Dude, you're not actually planning to go up, are you? Absolutely do not go up there. It's dangerous. How is it dangerous? I'm just going to keep her company. The poor girl is terrified. What's wrong with staying with her? Aren't you worried about yourself? Are you jealous of me? What exactly do you mean? I felt like 1302 was hinting at something. Seeing how much I pressed him, he finally warned me. Don't be fooled by 1402's innocent act. She's actually a manipulative bitch. I thought to myself. I can't just leave her alone just because she's manipulative, right? There's nothing wrong with sticking together at a time like this. She moved in last month, right? Do you know what her relationship is with the guy in 1401? I was stunned. They are exes. After the girl in 1402 found out the stabbed guy lived here, even knowing he already had a girlfriend, she intentionally moved in next door. Daunt, you think that's suspicious? I froze for a second. How would I know if you didn't tell me? To think 1402 had this kind of history with the guy from 1401. Either this girl moved here on purpose to disgust his current girlfriend, or she's out for revenge. Either way, I can't wrap my head around her logic. How do you know about their relationship? This kind of well-hidden secret. How did 1302 find out? Don't worry about that. I'm just giving you a heads up. Whether you go up or not is up to you. 1302 said nothing more. Right at that moment, the guy from the opposite building called me. My buddy from the opposite building called me. Bro, that woman fell. I saw it with my Huawei phone. The rope hanging her. It seems to have snapped. What fell? Startled, I thought to myself. Is a hanging rope that flimsy? Wait a minute. When 601 suddenly shouted over the phone, do you know what I just saw? You'd never guess. It scared the hell out of me. Terrified, I asked him what exactly he saw. She stood up, gulp. Went 1001 swallowed hard. She really stood up, holy. Going out. She's walking to the door like she's going out. Going out, before I could finish my sentence. Suddenly, all the appliances in my house, as if on cue, stopped working simultaneously. The room plunged into pitch darkness. Oh my god, your entire building went black. I'm out. This is too dangerous. Wait, bro, don't. But no matter what I said, 1601 hung up in fear. Boundless darkness enveloped the entire room. I seemed to hear all kinds of weird noises around me, as if something had broken into my house. My hair stood on end. Bro, I hear someone pounding on a door. Help me, save me. In the voice message from 1402, you could clearly hear the girl's heavy breathing. At the same time, it was accompanied by heavy pounding. A muffled sound. As if someone was smashing their head against a security door. Wait, is that hanged woman banging her head on the door? My brain frantically conjured up bizarre and terrifying images. About 5 full minutes passed. After everything quieted down, the residents' group chat finally had some activity again. I can't see anything, but there's definitely pounding, just not on my door. Hey, girl, in 02. Are you okay? The guy in 1404 was trying to seek a shred of courage from his neighbors. I'm fine. They aren't pounding on my door either. Where are the cops? 1302 realized something was wrong. It's been 20 minutes already. Logically, for a murder case this severe, the police should have arrived very quickly after being called. Yeah, where are the police? 1404 was extremely embarrassed. I made a call, but no one answered. Bro, what the hell are you doing? No one answered the police. No, I didn't call the police just now. I called property management. I wanted them to send someone up to check first. It turned out the guy in 1404 hadn't called the cops at all. I suddenly wanted to rush up and beat the living daylights out of him. Thinking about this, I suddenly wanted to rush up and beat the crap out of him. Getting through to property management at 2 a.m. Like hell they would answer. Why didn't you say so earlier? I would have just called the cops myself. The girl in 1402 was furious. I had to figure out the situation before calling the police, right? Making a false report is illegal. What do you mean, figure out the situation? Things are like this, and you still need to figure it out. I think you're deliberately stalling. You didn't want to call the cops at all. You just want them dead. I know it. Why would I want them dead? Don't think I don't know. They've bullied you terribly. Because they were lazy, that young couple would often. But deep down, you've hated their guts for a long time. Because they were lazy, that young couple would often just dump their trash right in front of 1404's door on their way out. It turned out 1004 had to clean it up himself every time, and he hated them to the bone for it. That's why he refused to call the police this time. He was also hoping that the young couple would both die, intentionally delaying time. Heh. 1404 acted completely out of character and sent some very intriguing words in the group chat. Girl, am I the only one who wants them dead, or aren't you too? Me. Yeah, when that couple came back today. Didn't you give them some mushrooms? 1402 fell silent. Those mushrooms were really big and beautiful. Did you pick them from the mountain out back? I don't believe you didn't know that the more beautiful the mushroom, the more toxic it is. Holy shit, 1402 is ruthless. Giving her ex-boyfriend and his new girl poisonous mushrooms to eat. You've been spying on me. After 1402 said that, she stopped talking completely. Instead, it was 1404 who kept venting his resentment in the group chat. I was absolutely speechless. But right at this moment, the sound of knocking came from outside my door. Bro. The power's out. It turned out to be 1302 outside. I really admired his guts, still daring to come out at a time like this. I spoke to him through the door. Yeah, the power's out again. Come with me to check the main breaker. Let's fix the power. The electricity in this building has some issues. Usually, it's just the main breaker tripping. The terrible part is that the main breaker is down in the basement. Someone has to go down there and flip it manually. 302 wanted to ask me to go with him, so he'd have some company. Then wait for me a moment. After a moment, I walked to the door and took a look through the peephole. I saw 1302 standing at my door, shining his phone's flashlight right at his own face. Just keeping it there. Maybe it was so I could see his face more clearly. But lighting it up like that was creepy as hell. But I think 1302 is the scariest person. Bro, 404 is such a jerk. You're the only good one. But I think 1302 is the most terrifying one. Do you think it's possible he killed my neighbors? I was stunned. There's something I don't know if I should tell you. 302 has been secretly investigating me. Actually, he wasn't just investigating me. He staked out my neighbors every day and figured out their social lives and routines. Inside and out, my hand on the doorknob suddenly trembled. I actually knew about 1302's situation. He was a very devoted son, who had always lived with his elderly mother. But his mother had severe heart disease, had just undergone surgery, and needed to rest quietly. However, that young couple upstairs was too much. They would literally throw dance parties at home late at night, making incredibly loud noises. After so many times, 1302's mother couldn't take it anymore and passed away late one night. In a fit of rage, 1302 even took the young couple to court. The lawsuit still isn't over yet. This turned their already hostile relationship into something even worse. They cursed at each other in the group chat almost every day. Now that the girl in 1402 mentioned it, I suddenly felt that my neighbor was the most suspicious. Why would he not just focus on the lawsuit, but stake out and investigate the couple's social life? Could it be that he wanted to? I looked through the peephole again and saw that 1302 had also secretly leaned in, trying to look me in the eye through it. That eyeball looked exceptionally eerie. I forgot to tell you. I just called the cops. The police said it's safest for us to stay inside, so you shouldn't wander around either. In that case, I guess I'll have to go fix the breaker myself. He paused, then turned around with extremely slow steps to take the stairs. I don't know what came over me, but my mind went blank for a second. Suddenly asked him a question. You're really brave. How dare you go down alone like this? You believe in ghosts and spirits too. Don't you think it's absurd? It's better to believe they exist than to believe they don't. Why believe in that stuff? 302's laughter was incredibly sharp. It sent chills down my spine. Look behind me. Look at what? He leaned in closer and said very mysteriously, see if there are two people standing behind me. I swallowed hard. He stood at my door for a moment. Then he left. But right after leaving, he immediately turned back and secretly stared through the peephole again for a while before leaving again. If I hadn't been so scared and checked through the peephole, I really wouldn't have noticed him after he left. But thinking about it carefully, after hanging up, I let out a long sigh. But thinking about it carefully, it sent a chill down my spine again. What did 1302 just say? He asked if there were two people standing behind me. I think I realized something. I secretly messaged the girl in 1402. Stop talking in the group chat. What's wrong? Have you ever thought about when the bodies were being dismembered next door, where everyone was? In the group chat. Weren't we all chatting together? Right, we were all chatting in the group. But while chatting, he could be chatting on his phone. You mean? It's possible the killer was a third party. He could be chatting on his phone while doing his own thing. Just now when you confirmed the power outage and heard the banging on the door. Could it be that someone took the opportunity to run out? The girl from 1402 thought for a moment. You mean the killer took the opportunity to escape? That's what I was thinking. The power outage gave him the chance to leave, and the guy in 1404 not calling the police did indeed buy him time. If he had actually called the police back then, I think that person would have been trapped in the room. Just then, the lights suddenly came back on. It should be 1302 who fixed the breaker. Bro, I just thought about it. You have a point. Some things are better believed. After all, tonight's events are scary enough. The power had just been restored, and 1302 was chatting with me on WeChat. So I want to wait for the police at your place. I'm pretty scared by myself. Open the door for me in a bit, okay? Seeing 1302's message, I instantly lost my mind. Damn it. I was able to talk calmly with the girl from 1402, but now hearing that 1302 is coming to find me, I am completely losing it. He's so gutsy. He wasn't afraid during the power outage. Why is he coming to me? Now that the lights are back on, my only thought was, could he have realized he let slip that he killed 2 people? Oh my god, he's coming to silence me. Let's just wait for the police in our own homes. What are you panicking for? I'm coming up right now. It's not like I'm a bad guy. Wait for me. 3002 was very insistent on coming to my place. Bloody water is still leaking in my apartment. Why not go to his place? He's probably afraid that if he kills me at his place, it'll be hard to explain. But at this moment, I was unusually calm. Now that Hez coming to my house to kill me, how could I just sit and wait for death? Instantly, I made a decision, and that was to run away fast. If Hez coming up in the elevator, then I'll go down the stairs. The lights flickered twice. With that thought, I opened the door and ran, rushing headlong into the escape stairwell. The lights flickered twice. I gritted my teeth and sprinted down the stairs. On the way, my friend from 1601 called me. I quickly stopped in my tracks. What's wrong? Bro, I saw the lights go on in your building, so I took another look upstairs at your place. Guess what? I was furious. I'm running for my life here, man. He seemed to calm down a bit. You'll never guess. There's a new suitcase in their living room. A red one, standing right in the middle. Got it. I'm hanging up. I really didn't have time to analyze the situation with him right now. I kept running down the escape stairwell. Halfway down, all the lights suddenly went out. It was pitch black all around, forcing me to stop in my tracks. Another power outage. I started panicking. 2 consecutive power outages had almost never happened before. It was so dark everywhere. Traces of fear began to well up in my heart. The wind in the stairwell was a bit chilly, and an eerie green glow permeated the corridor. I let out a breath, suppressing my fear as I continued downstairs. Fortunately, there was no danger along the way. Just as I was about to reach the exit, I suddenly saw a flash of light. Looking closely, the light was shining from the basement level. There was someone at the building's main breaker. When I saw who it was, I completely froze. It was 1302. He was messing with the main electrical box. Did he cut the power to the whole building? My brain short-circuited for a moment. Just my luck, of all times to run into him. I panicked and looked for a way out. Don't run. 1302 obviously heard me. He turned to look at me, then chased after me with a dark expression. He was holding a knife, glinting with a cold light. Help. I ran, and he chased, looking like he wouldn't give up until he caught me. Seeing 1302 getting closer and closer, a chill ran down my spine. What are you running for? 1302 was quite fast. Right at the entrance of the complex, I tripped and fell to the ground. Looking back, 1302's face looked terrifying. He still had that knife in his hand, and his smile was incredibly sinister. What are you doing? Who yelled for help? Just when I thought I was a goner, a beam of light illuminated us. The police had arrived. I breathed a sigh of relief. It's a misunderstanding, we're neighbors. Then why were you chasing me with a knife? It actually made sense. Besides, if you hadn't run, why would I have chased you? According to 1302's explanation, it actually made perfect sense. I couldn't just falsely accuse him. The police looked at us, somewhat annoyed. Did you call the police? Take us to the crime scene. 302, and I led the police to the 14th floor. As soon as we reached the 14th floor, we smelled a strong stench of blood. The woman from 1401 was lying right in front of her door. There was a long, deep cut across her neck, and she was still holding a knife. It looked like her body had crawled across the floor, leaving a long trail of blood behind. She must have taken her last breath right as she reached the door. This was absolutely horrifying. What on earth had happened? Who knows? A perfectly fine couple. Why would they kill each other? What was the actual cause of death? None of us knew. But I firmly believe the woman didn't kill herself. Early the next morning, we hastily moved out together, while I was helping him pack. He kept saying the place was haunted. You said when the power went out. That woman had been hanging from the rope for half the day. How could she survive the fall? And even walk to the front door by herself. And I saw that suitcase clearly. It just suddenly appeared in the living room. There was no one in that room during the blackout. If it wasn't pushed by some mysterious force, then what else could it be? This whole thing is incredibly baffling, but it was all seen by 1601 with his own eyes. However, the dead woman walking to her door by herself really can't be logically explained. At the same time, I hadn't heard any details about the woman hanging. She died from a slit throat. As I packed, I kept thinking. I happened to see a large piece of mushroom in the living room, and a piece was missing. Don't you hate mushrooms? Why did you buy such a big one? I didn't buy it. I picked it. I went with the girl from 1402 upstairs to pick it in the back mountain. I looked at that big beautiful mushroom and couldn't help but remember what 1404 had said. Didn't you know this kind of mushroom is poisonous? I know, but it's only mildly toxic. Most importantly, eating this kind of mushroom will cause hallucinations. Did you eat it? You know I don't like eating mushrooms. I was deeply puzzled. Where did the missing piece go? My head was about to explode. Countless thoughts wildly intertwined in my mind.